I was able to help people. And I think that's the theme throughout everything that I've done in all the jobs that I've done, is that my ultimate goal is to just support people.
On this episode of Spill the Tea with LLIB, we have the wonderful Kate Dunning.
So, can you share with our listeners more about your business and what sets it apart?
Yes. So my business is Ethereal VA. It's a virtual assistant business, although I'm a one-man band. So I support business owners, entrepreneurs with the tasks that take time away from what truly matters in their business. So be that I can help with preparing PowerPoint slides, making document looks pretty, research, social media, just the little niggly bits that some people don't enjoy, but weirdos like me really get a kick out of it. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I love that.
Fab. So what inspired you to venture into this particular industry?
So it's been a bit of a long-winded journey to get to this point. I'd say at school, I never really felt academic. I was more of like one of the average kind of students. I was very much into music and creativity, always wanted to be a Spice Girl. Yeah, obviously that never came about.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, Baby Spice for the win. And then when it was time to sort of choose what I wanted to do for university, I was thinking, do I go and do music? Do I do event management? Applied for both, ended up getting into music college. And so I went there and sang and really enjoyed it. But obviously you've got to pay for your life as well. So I had to get a job. So I worked in a bar, and that whole time I never really felt like I wanted to pursue the music industry. I loved singing, and it brings me so much joy still to this day. But I was thinking I just don't know what the next step is. And at that point I ended up moving back home to figure out the next steps. But then again, just got sucked into office jobs, selling things. I'm an awful salesperson. I sold magic whiteboards to German schools, gas and electric, terribly. And then I had this passion for health and fitness. So I did a nutrition course, and then I went to Thailand to do an internship in a health and wellness resort. Wow. Was there for 8 months, loved it, but then realised, I actually want to be a PT. So I came back to the UK and I trained to be a personal trainer. And again, you've got to, pay to live. So I was working in a bar alongside being a PT and teaching spin classes.
Sorry, I was going to sneeze there. That wasn't a sharp intake of breath about the PT classes.
It's like, she's a PT.
Don't look at me. Just a real sneeze was coming there, and then it just went from there.
You managed to nip it in the bud. That's good.
Sorry.
It's okay. And was doing that alongside that, and then I was trying to sort of build the business, but in my head I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just thought, but now what, essentially? And then one morning I was hungover in the Waitrose cafe, and I bumped in.
PT's allowed to do that?
Exactly. I shouldn't say that, should I? I bumped into my old boss where I sold gas and electric very badly. And they were moving offices and they were expanding the business, and he was looking for someone to help with the admin side of things and managing the office. And at the time, it would have been a lot more money than what I was getting. And it just felt, for some reason, like the right thing to do. And then I was going to teach spin on the side and then do my PT outside of that. At the time I was based in Chester, but then I was commuting to Widnes to do this PT and the spin. It all got a bit much. So then here I am in this office doing reception work, admin, office management. And then I started to sort of develop into the PA side of things. So I've gone from being a PT to a PA. And then I realised that I actually loved those kinds of jobs. I was able to help people. And I think that's the theme throughout everything that I've done in all the jobs that I've done, is that my ultimate goal is to just support people and be helpful, basically. And that's I think I've gone off on a tangent now, but that's
No,
how I've gone from PT to PA. And at the time as well, I knew this is the way I wanted to go. So I thought I need to network and broaden my skills and learn from people who are doing PAing and EAing very well. So then I came across something called the PA Hub, which is a PA network in Liverpool and also Leeds, and they've expanded into other cities across the UK too. And I met some wonderful PAs there and then sort of networked that way. And after a couple of years at the business where I started off as a receptionist, admin assistant, I then got my first role in Chester Zoo as a directorate administrator. And then I was there for 5 years in total, and I became a senior PA there and learnt from one of my amazing colleagues who is just incredible. And I've learnt a lot from her. And I really enjoyed my time there supporting the directorate team there. And fast forward to 2022, I became pregnant. And I went back to work a year later. And this thing in the back of my head, it's always been niggling me. I've wanted to have my own business, but I've never really known how. I've been on the lookout for so many years trying to figure out what it was I wanted to do. That's why I've had so many different types of jobs. And I went back. It was just a bit too much, even 3 days a week. They were long days. They were in the office. I was getting up, not really seeing Percy, my little 18-month-old. And then coming back home and just doing tea, bath, bed, and it just became too much. And obviously, I still feel like I'm in the trenches. I know we've touched on that before with the new motherhood, and nothing can prepare you for it. So I thought I need to do something. And if I don't take the leap now, I'll never do it, and I'll get to 60 and I'll think, what if? I've got all these skills and I know what I'm doing, and I can offer a great range of services that there's no reason why I can't do it. So it was bittersweet handing in my notice, but they very much supported me. And I've not looked back. I say that, but I'm 3.5 months into the business. But yeah, it's the best decision, and I'm absolutely loving every minute of it.
Wow. So did you actually work in Chester Zoo?
Yes.
Were you on the ground
Yes.
with the animals?
Not necessarily with the animals.
Just opening the laptop next to like the lions.
Yeah, sadly not. I don't know, have you been before to the zoo? Yeah, so
zoo,
where the aquarium is, there's like a little secret admin building behind there. And that's where we were based.
Wow.
So,
And do you get to go into Chester Zoo?
You could if you wanted to. I mean, you only got 30 minutes for your lunch. And obviously we're all so
Chester
busy.
Zoo in 30
you can't.
minutes.
But we got to see the giant otters on the way there. You just walk past the giant otters straight through to the canteen.
What was your favourite animal at the zoo then?
The red pandas. I love them. Or the giraffes. I mean, there's too many to choose from, but it was a brilliant place to work.
Oh, that's incredible. So now in the role that you do now, what do you find most fulfilling about the work that you do? What really
comes
lights
back,
you up?
being able to make a positive impact and help lighten the load for people. I meet so many business owners that are just incredible, and they have so many ideas that they may not be able to execute because they've just got so much else going on in their head, and they've got all these little niggly bits that I can take off their plate, and it frees them up to really follow what it is that they're passionate about. And that's what I love about it. It's helping
really
them be the
hard.
best that they can be by just taking away the mundane.
Love that. It's really hard being self-employed as well, because you go into this business because you love what you do. I love therapy. You know, it really does fill my cup up. But I'm not just a therapist. I have to do social media. I have to do note taking, filing, promotion. We were talking about data with the funding that we received, and how much data you've got to send back to them, and how many reports you have to fill in, and it just takes you away from that love, that the job that you actually love. So people go into these self-employed positions, and they open the businesses, whatever that business may be, and then it's everything else that's around the business that just Yeah, it can dim your light a little bit, I think.
You've got to wear so many hats and it can feel really overwhelming. I mean, I get it. I'm running my own business as well, but I feel like I need a VA as well to do that bit as well. I'm VAing for other people, but it's a lot. And if, someone can take a fraction of that away from you and you don't have to worry about it, it's a no-brainer because you're not wasting your time, but you're taking your time away from that, which is costing you money as well. Yeah. So being able to outsource is just a brilliant way for you to keep your focus and your love for what it is that you do.
And when you say outsource, so what are if somebody's listening to this episode now and they think, yes, I need this, then what do your packages, like, do you work a certain amount of hours a week, or do you work with the client around their needs and what it is, or do you work project to project? Like, what would it be like to work with you as a VA?
Yeah, so it definitely varies. I'm able to provide like such a varied offering, and I'd very much work with whoever it was that wanted to work with me to figure out what it is that they really felt that they needed assistance with, and also how, what does that look like for them affordability wise, how many hours do they want. So I can offer packages, but I'd also be led by them to make it unique. I don't want to just offer, say, this is what I offer, and it's rigid, or very much flexible and making sure that the fit's got to be right for both of us. Definitely. And I've learned that very early on. Set boundaries with who you want to work
100%.
with.
I can imagine boundaries in your position have to be really, really high in terms of when you are working, and that transparency that the customer understands, your client understands that you are not going to be available at this time unless they are paying you for those hours. And I think people are going to be really relieved to hear that you do work with the client, because when you think of VA, when you think of outsourcing, you think money. And you think as a business owner or a business starting off who may need that support, you think, I can't afford it. Like straight away, I can't afford to outsource, when actually, even if it's just a few hours a week, you could actually be making more money into the business.
And even just looking at it from a different perspective, think how much time would it take me, the business owner, to do that task? So, and what do I charge per hour for that? But if I can get someone in to come and do that for maybe a fraction less, then you're actually essentially saving money.
Absolutely. Amazing.
Definitely. So if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
This can be in life or in business.
Coming back to what it is I've always wanted to do throughout life is to help people. So I guess making a positive impact on people's lives through however big or small. So that, and my heart, hopefully I've got a kind heart, and I just want to touch people's lives in that way. Just touch people
with that exfoliating glove. Just touch people. I love that. That's amazing. So if you could spill the tea with anyone, who would you choose and why?
I was thinking about this, and I think I'm going to say it would be my granddad, Percy. Who passed before I was born, so I never had the opportunity to meet him. But obviously my son is named after him. And just from what I've been told, like from my mum and my dad, I think he was a very, very wise and proud man, and he wasn't one to conform. And I've never really been one to conform either. So I'd just love to sit down and have a chat with him and talk about everything that he's been through and what he's seen. I know that he hated watching the news, so I'm very much the same. So I'd love to have a little natter about the goings on of the world, and how crazy it is. So it'd be him.
Do you know then, if your son's called Percy and your granddad was Percy, and Percys don't like to conform, then you know why he's saying no all the time to you, don't you?
Yes, there we go. I should have known.
And that connection never come to mind.
Finding that fine balance, isn't it, of wanting your child to grow up being
strong, independent, and willful, but not on your watch.
No, exactly. Not in the middle of Tesco.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, strong Percys, May we know them and be them.
Yes.
Nonconformists.
That's what we love
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. This next question, we like people who conform.
We do. We do
I think
with
I
this
already
next
know
one way
whose
or
question.
the
team I'm
other.
on.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Will I be excited?
I think so.
I knew it. I can tell people when they sit in the chair. I can just tell. So go on then. If you were going to make the
Yeah.
perfect cup of tea, especially, you know, for one of your, you know, your clients and
I've
whatnot.
got a story about
Oh,
this.
go on. I like a story.
So I'm not going to name any names, but one place that I worked, there was someone who offered to make us a brew. And of course, you say yes, any opportunity
yeah.
that you're not having to go and make your own
Yes.
cup of tea.
Mm.
And they would always make the weakest, most like
Like
dishwatery
water. Yeah.
cup of tea. That every time they asked me from that point, I'd just say, oh no, I'm good, thanks, I've just had one. Because there's nothing worse, is there,
No,
than having a rubbish cup
No.
of tea?
Definitely.
there's not.
So speaking about rubbish cups
Yeah.
of teas, how do you make yours?
So obviously boil the kettle, put your tea bag in the cup, pour the water onto the tea bag, give it a good stir, get a nice strong brew, squeeze it on the sides, take the tea bag out,
Yeah.
and then put your milk in just a drop,
Correct.
and then drink it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Another point.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
You're
know.
on form today,
I
aren't you?
know. Yeah, I'm smashing
Definitely
life.
on form.
It's when people put milk on top of the tea bag before the water is in the cup. Is that what you do?
Oh no.
No, she
No.
at least puts the water in.
do put the
That's
water in.
another level of
Yeah.
dirtiness.
I do put the water in first
Yeah.
before I
Good.
put my milk
Okay,
in.
good.
Definitely. And I do
Yeah.
give it a little stir and I do let it brew a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I put
Yeah.
my milk in and then it's done and it's done
Yeah.
and dusted. And it's a great cup of tea.
Yeah, if it works for you,
If
then
it
don't
works,
change
thank
it, right?
you.
Can't all
Thank
be
you.
the same.
There you go.
We can't all be the same.
And on that note, thank you so much for being a guest on today's show. And you have been, you've been amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
for
luck
having me.
with the journey and
Appreciate
parenting.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need it.
We know which one you need more luck for
Business is easy.
when you're a mum. I
Oh,
love
gosh,
that. Thank
thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Yay.